Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. Let's call the roll.
Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Christ.
Present.
Van.
Present.
Marcus.
Here.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Smith.
Here.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation tonight is with Chaplain Wade Little from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Is he here?
Let's see Wade.
He is here?
No, I don't see him. I don't see him. It's Wade.
Well, it's important, but I guess it's not a fire. So we can
Is he on his way?
Does anybody know if he's coming? What? Okay, let me know when he arrives, and we'll just back up and do it then, okay? And Councilman Chris, do you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. Please stand. Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, we have, I'm unclear how we're doing this. We have a presentation for, help me out here.
For the Savvy Award. Two presentations are on the agenda and two that both that aren't on your agenda, on your script, about streets of Lancaster. You could take any in any order you want.
Okay, well, the website category and the printed publication category, what's that all about?
We won 2 awards, and here to tell us about them is Mr. Cabral. To
Okay.
present you with the awards if he's here.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Joe Cabral, and I'm the Communications Manager for the City of Lancaster. And the Communications Division is very pleased to be able to present the Council with not one, but 2 national awards tonight. These awards are from the City, County Communications and Marketing Association. They're in 2 categories. One of them is the Digital Interactive Website category, and the other one's the Printed Publication category. So our Outlook magazine won the printed publications category. And what I'd like to point out is we were competing against municipalities of up to 535,000 citizens. Lancaster is just under 146,000. Our website.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Anna. Our website also won a national award, and we were competing against communities with a population of up to 1,280,000. And once again, Lancaster is just under 146,000. So we're very proud to be able to present these to you. But before we do that, I'd like to bring everybody up from the Communications Division. You'll recognize them. Our Communications Specialist is Nicole Allen, who has quite a number of duties. But one of them is to continuously update our website, which has a lot of information. One of our interns is Rebecca Weir, and she predominantly does the social networking aspects, Facebook, and the such.
So you're the one that kicks those people off of Facebook.
Brandon Ramos primarily does the videos for the city, including the ones that go out weekly on the e-newsletter, Channel 28, and our YouTube channels. And I'd also like to bring up Shannon Dow, who recently took a position with Redevelopment. However, during the time that we were awarded for these 2 national awards, was part of the department. So we as a division would love to present to you these 2 awards. And while we're getting those, I'd love to thank you for your leadership. Since I've been here, communications has been a top priority, and we know that and we appreciate that. So from the entire communications division, I'd like to thank the city manager, everybody. I mean, these are the people that let us do the stories. I mean, if anybody saw the 3-day Grand Prix, I mean, the stories come to us. What we do is cover it as well as we can. So we'd like to present these awards to you, Mayor Paris.
We really ought to be presenting them to you. Right? You know, look, pay attention to this. Look how many people we're talking about. I mean, this is it. And they were able to compete on a national level and kick to win. And that to me, that's truly phenomenal. I mean, this is breathtaking that 4 people were able to do this. It's just wow. Thank you very much on behalf of the entire city. You guys are doing a magnificent job. Thank you. I'm actually a little surprised because I thought you guys had people behind you doing the website and doing the Outlook. I really didn't realize that they were doing everything else in that too, because I take up a lot of their time. It's an amazing amount of time I take up independent of those 2 items. On the Outlook, they've actually figured out a way to make it so it's free to the city almost. Are we past the free point yet?
We're to the point where it's at least neutral, and we're going to get to making money pretty quickly on it. And I would like to also add, too, that I've worked with other cities now, and I appreciate you recognizing the fact that other cities have staffs 3 and 4 times as large.
It's remarkable to me. I think I got a bigger staff than that in the law office for that work. This is truly remarkable. Okay, thank you. Okay. Presentation to the City Council from Tri-C Carters. And the presenters are Mark Bozigan and Steve Goki. Okay, let's do ALADS first. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I skipped over you.
We have Steve Rummage.
Steve Rummage and who?
President of ALAD, Steve Rummage, and Lance Troyan.
So that's what Steve Rummage looks like. I've been talking to you for years.
For quite a while,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Well, thank you, Mayor Paris and members of the City Council. I'm Deputy Steve Rummage, and I'm President of the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, ALADS, representing the more than 8,000 deputy sheriffs and district attorney investigators working in Los Angeles County. Thank you for giving me a few moments here tonight to express our deep appreciation for your city's ongoing support of quality public safety services. I know your council doesn't hear words of thanks very often, and if you're like most of the councils I visited over the last few years, you hear more complaints than you do compliments. That's why, on behalf of my membership, I'm here simply to say thank you for the job you do. Our members enjoy working for you and for the citizens of this outstanding city. We know that quality public safety programs don't happen by accident. In these times of reduced revenues and shrinking budgets, I applaud this council's commitment to public safety. The dedication of the rank and file patrol personnel and the support of the elected officials and city administrators make it all possible. In closing, I'd like to present the council with this plaque as an expression of our thanks on behalf of the deputy sheriffs and district attorney investigators working across Los Angeles County.
Why don't we all go down for a picture on that? These guys know how to do a plaque. Okay, this can go in my office. Now we go to the Tri-City Partnership.
Staff, want to come up? We actually have 3 presentations for you today revolving around streets of Lancaster. This, a surprise presentation, and then the Sheriff's Department presenting to the Fire Department, congratulating them on their win.
I would expect to see more sheriffs here.
This is one time the clock is supposed to go backwards because the bet was it has to go at least 3 minutes saying nice things about the fire department. The first one, I'd like to just very briefly talk about Streets of Lancaster, and the folks behind me, I'm going to let Steve say a few words, really lead up a team of about 100 or more city staffers and that many volunteers and more that made this event possible. So while they represent the folks that are involved from the departments. It was a team effort. These are the folks that helped lead it. We had 35,000 people downtown. We gave the community, we being all of us volunteers, a great event. The businesses did outstanding business, some of them doubling and tripling what they've done in any other festival. And it was a great time, great weather. It was bigger and better than last year, and we're just very pleased that the council sees the wisdom in continuing and expanding these events for the community, because it's really a shot in the arm for the entire community and an economic boost. Tri-City was not able to be here because they're on to their next competition, but on behalf of Tri-City, we have a helmet to present to you, but I'd like to introduce Steve first to say a couple words.
Thanks, Mark. Well, I want to echo what Mark said. This event, the real beauty of this event is that it is just an amazing collaborative. There isn't any department in this city that didn't touch this event. And we had a huge response from the business community, the Downtown Association, businesses all over town. So this is truly a community event. One of the greatest thing I heard this weekend was, man, that really felt like a family event. We felt like we were with family, and that meant the whole doggone thing. So to me, that just, you should be real proud of that, and I hope you are. And Tri-C, one of the things that they wanted to do from the very beginning was make winning in this event something really special. This trophy is an example of the first place trophy that they've given for both years now, and it's a little different color design, but the same basic concept. And the racers don't get this kind of trophy anywhere else. And of course, what would you expect? They come to Lancaster for the best, right? And that's what they get. And they want you to know that you are champions in their eyes, and they want you to have one of these championship trophies. And you've all become a legend in the racing world. They watched you this weekend. And Rex, you're probably going to get a new name. And with all due respect, Axel, he may take that name away from you because there's a whole legend out there about Axels now. And someday you'll understand. Someday or some moment you'll understand what I'm talking about. But couldn't be happier. And yeah, I want to introduce Melissa and Lauren and Heather, who are part of the staff that made this happen. And let's be careful, because we had as many community racers this year as we did professional racers. And this lady right here organized a community race event within an event that it's just unbelievable. We may lose her to NASCAR, so we better be careful, because race director Swan did an unbelievable job with that. So thank you all. And thanks to Tri-C.
Didn't I come in last place?
Yes.
We'll let the vice mayor get the helmet. Go on up there. The vice mayor came in first. As much as it pains me to say, I did come in last.
Yes, he did win the mayor's gold cup.
But nobody knows how to spin around those corners, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a city event. Did you get up there for a picture?
You all got there out there, and Steve,
I can get up.
first your mic. I think we ought to have
I crash more than anybody. That's something to be proud of.
along the line. Oh, sorry.
Before we do that, I was watching these folks run this event, and one of my first adult jobs was at Magic Mountain, and I know events, and I know how difficult they are. And the way they were making decisions, I mean, you've got to make 1,000 decisions. And they were just doing them, and it went like clockwork. It was truly amazing that 3 days went without a hitch. And a credit to the community, 3 days, 35,000 people, nobody got arrested. Nobody caused any problems. It was an absolutely family event from beginning to end, and I've never felt such a community coming together as I did these last 3 days. And a lot of that, most of that, 99% of that, has to do with how organized it is. If there's a lot of confusion, then people start acting confused. But when things are well organized and well planned, everything goes smoothly from there all the way through the evening. And even the drunks behaved, so.
Thank you for that. It was a wonderful weekend. But we thought there was one thing missing. There's always awards for the racers that win, but there's also those racers that leave everything on the track. Those racers that may crash 10 times, but they can't wait till the 11th crash. And we decided there needed to be an award for that. We went back and forth. The vice mayor did win, and I give him all the credit in the world. He's an excellent racer. But we had 2 finalists in the Leave It All on the Track award, and it was between Fabian and Mayor Paris, Fabian Terrasiano and Mayor Paris. Fabian, quite honestly, scared a lot of people. So we decided that we were going to award this year's Broken Axle Award to Mayor Paris. Jason, if you would give that to me. This is actually the award from his car.
I bet you make fun of people in wheelchairs, too.
And with this honor, you get to pick next year's Broken Axle Award. The criteria is someone who leaves it all on the track and has to have at least 5 spin-outs per 8 laps. Would you like to accept your award?
On behalf of the city of Lancaster, we'll talk about this later.
And Councilmember Christ, as we're inviting Gerald and Don down, I don't know if you want to say a couple words about the bet you helped orchestrate.
Well, it wasn't quite a bet, but it was a rivalry between the two entities, the fire department and the sheriff's department, and we were trying to make a equitable situation out of it. So they decided that Mr. Cozy and Mr. Don Doughton decided that whoever won the race would accept the accolades of the other department. So here's the sheriff's department giving the accolades to the fire department. And congratulations to both groups.
Mayor and council, I'm not sure how happy we are to be here tonight, but my intrepid city liaison lieutenant, Don Doughton, is here with me, mainly because he's the major suspect in the jawing that went on before the guns and hoses portion of the Streets of Lancaster contest. So as a result of that, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Doughton to make a little presentation here.
Okay, in police jargon, I'm the main perp.
I'm a little hard of hearing.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. So fire beats sheriff again, okay? That's the second time this year. I'm not happy about it. Okay, congratulations are in order to the LA County Fire Department. You guys did a great job. You know, on Saturday, you guys all know, on Saturday, October 9th, they defeated the deputies from Lancaster Station in a duel on the streets of Lancaster during the second annual Streets of Lancaster Grand Prix. It was a tough battle back and forth. But as I say, the BS drops when the checkered flag's down, okay? We were outdriven. Okay, so after the race, I pondered several things. Why? Why'd we lose? I mean, we drive all the time. We drive fast. Okay? Okay, the first thing, they had to pay the guy that was running the go-karts. They had to pay him to get the fastest car. maybe they went faster because the car was red. Then I said, well, maybe they actually got the recliner inside the cockpit of the car. I wasn't watching real close, but then I realized my error. I said, we always drive better when we're chasing somebody. They never ever get to pursue anybody. Okay, so the spoils of the victory. Guys, you guys really, you kicked our butts. So you won fair and square. So to the victors, go to the spoils. Okay, for the cold nights in the recliner, you got a red blanket, okay, and it's red. Fire department red. For those cold nights in that recliner, you always guys get hungry, you know, so some snacks, sneaky snacks for you. And then, you know, I mean, the remote control, you know, I know it goes bad every once in a while, and I don't want you to have to make that trip back and forth, that big screen TV. So when it runs out, I got you a year's supply of batteries. All right, but seriously, and I was out there, and the reporter from Versus TV hit me up, and she says, what's up with the rivalry between the fire department and the sheriff's department? I said, there is no rivalry. I said, we're one big team. We work together every day. We're on calls together. We respond together. When they run into that burning house to save the people, we're out there to protect them from the gunfire or lock down the area. And I said, when we go in there and we come under gunfire, we get hurt, they're there to patch us up and carry us away and protect us. We're one big team. And that's how we roll, and that's how we are in Lancaster. It's always going to be that way. There is no rivalry between us at all. We are one big team. So you guys beat us fair and square. Congratulations. Thanks for taking the jokes well, and we'll see you next year on the streets.
Does the fire department have a?
You don't get to talk. You know.
Before we turn the microphone over to the fire department here, I would like to mention, however, that the Lancaster captain did beat Assistant Fire Chief Luke Claus out there in the Mayor's Gold Cup. So we didn't lose everything.
Does the fire department have a driving course we could send our deputies to?
Absolutely.
We should talk about that.
I don't know what side to be on. All right, let me do it that way then. Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to the city council, city staff, the residents of Lancaster, and our brothers and sisters in the fire and sheriff's department for the event that was put on and our involvement. It was really something that brought us as a community together. I've lived here all my life, born and raised in Lancaster, born at AV Hospital, and it's just so nice to see something other than the Antelope Valley Fair once a year that we can all come to and have something that we can look forward to. So I want to say thank you. The other thing is, with regards to our sheriff department comments, they some of my friends they always ask me, what do you call a smart sheriff? I say fireman. and with that, thank you, Don, Deputy Don, Lieutenant, thank you. we will see each other next year, and hopefully the victor and the spoils will be in our favor again. Thank you.
We've already decided it's him and I next year.
Thank you. Oh, okay. What's his name? Okay, Wade Little's here now. Is this mic hot enough? I'm not hearing it. Oh, that's right. I lost my hearing aids in the race. It came off with my helmet. Okay, Wade Little, you want to?
He's right outside. Could you get Wade Little? He's in there talking with the chief. Somebody back there?
They're not hot enough.
No.
Here you go.
Could somebody ask Wade to step in? He was just out in the foyer. There it is.
Okay,
Wade.
come on down. Let's do the invocation. We'll forgive you for being late.
Yeah, I am late. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you that we have individuals in this city, our mayors and our city councilmen that are men of faith. Lord, thank you for the city that is showing the way back to our faith and hope and charity, the way that I'm proud of, and I know you are, Lord. I pray you bless them as they have their meeting tonight. Bless their family. Put a hedge of protection around them as they're so busy with the affairs of this city. And I pray for all the events that they're planning. And thank you for the ones that have already happened, been so successful, that you would guide them, give them wisdom in their organization. Just give them patience, give them confidence that you're going to guide them in the affairs tonight as well as the future. Pray for those who are not able to work, for those who are unemployed, Lord. I pray that we bring jobs to this city, that they'd be able to provide for their families, for those who are out of their homes, Lord, that you would give them shelter, have people awaken to bless them. Lord, for our children, I pray for our children, our teachers, that you would just bless them and give them just a sense to know that their families love them and that they would learn and be able to be productive citizens of this society, Lord. Lord, for all the jobs coming in, Lord, I just pray that you would just allow these things to happen, Lord, for your glory. I pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay. All speaker cards must be filled out and submitted. What? You tired? I'm sorry, what? Oh, Kelvin was cracking jokes during class.
Kelvin was being disruptive.
All speaker cards must be filled out and submitted prior to the agenda item being called. This same rule applies if you wish to speak on non-agendized items at the end of the meeting. Following this process will allow us to conduct a timely and orderly meeting. Thank you. City Manager, anything to be removed?
No, sir.
There's nothing on it, is there? No action required on the agency calendar. We'll move to the next item of business. Approval of the minutes. Ron Smith, you'll have to abstain. Is there a motion?
Make motions to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous with one abstention. Anything on the consent calendar to be removed?
No, sir.
Is there a motion?
Move to adopt the consent calendar as currently comprised.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Council reports. Vice Mayor Smith.
Nothing really to report on the sanitation district, just perfunctory votes, but we are still working on the recycled water issue of making sure we get our equitable share. I have, we didn't write down any of the two other reports, but I have two other slight reports that I have to give. One that I attended with Assistant City Manager Jason Cottle, the League of Cities event, which we pulled back some good information from that we're going to be incorporating with the city. And also I attended the California Downtown Association, in Sacramento with staff, and there were a number of great ideas that came from the downtown associations and what other cities are doing that we're looking at incorporating into our downtown that we'll be bringing up in a future date.
Thank you. Council members Marcus and Christ.
The AVTA board authorized the executive director to sign a MOU with the City of Lancaster and the Human Resources Department to conduct a compensation clarification and benefit study for the employees. And the board agreed to a 60-day continuance on the latest line-by-line assessment report on the comprehensive long-range transit plan. The rest was regular.
Thank you. There's no council agenda. City manager?
No, sir.
City clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for you to address the City Council on items that are not on the agenda. You'll find speaker cards at the back of the council chambers. We ask that you fill the speaker cards out as clearly and as concisely as possible, so if the council or the city manager or staff needs to get in touch with you, they will have your information. As much as we appreciate your request to make comments before your 3 minutes begin, please understand your time does begin when you begin to speak. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. When you approach the podium, you'll see 3 lights. The green light comes on when your time begins, the yellow light comes on when you have 30 seconds left, and the red light comes on when your time is up. We ask that you be considerate of the allotted time to allow other speakers to have their 3 minutes as well. Following this procedure will allow for a smooth and timely process of the meeting. State law does prohibit the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter will be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy Richardson? Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Richardson, and I'm here not as an employee of Los Angeles County, but as a constituent of the Antelope Valley. And I ask you for your assistance as our community leaders to help us to find out the clear plan that has been in works to move staff and services in an ongoing effort to consolidate and integrate functions at to Olive Medical Center located in the San Fernando Valley. So far, there's been the integration of several departments, and the last follow will be the nursing department located at our facility at High Desert, which will greatly affect our community here. High Desert now provides transportation to our elderly and indigent through our transportation department, through the ABTA bus ticket program, and also through taxi service. And we pay for those services. And what we're concerned with is, will that type of service still be provided to our constituents here once that service has been integrated with all of you? No, integrated means to merge and consolidate services.
Does that mean we're still having the services up here, or does it
We may or may not. Some of the services that we have had to move from our facilities, such as our speech therapy, that affected our pediatric patients, we were not able to have those services here. So the patients that we have here were suffering because of that type of integration. We only had one speech therapist to provide for the entire Antelope Valley community, and once they moved that person, we no longer had that service available here. And they had to travel 60 miles or plus, wherever their home location was, to go to that facility to get that type of service.
So they essentially just denied the care.
Pretty much. Okay. Where did I leave off? I'm sorry. Because of the Valley Care integration, our community has already had less therapy services, which we just discussed, and premature retirements, voluntary relinquishment of employment, and relocation of housing, which in turn relegates health care services to other communities and tax dollars outside of our own community and to other communities and counties. We're looking for the greater good of our health care services for our own community, just like with the closure of the hospital. What are the cost savings, what are the cost savings that we can see right now? We can't see any cost savings, but costs increase to the commuters. My mom had to relocate to Lancaster because her close location to provide services. Now she'll have to travel 60 miles in addition to that in order to obtain her services. Thank you.
Do we have anybody looking at this?
Not that I'm aware of, but what we will do tomorrow is contact Supervisor Antonivich's office and Mr. Hickling and find out what's going on. We'll do that first thing in the morning. In fact, I'll call him tonight when we're done.
Okay, thank you. We'll look into this, okay? Thank you for bringing it to our attention. David Paul?
Mr. Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council, good evening. Congratulations on 3 days of racing and community fun. Also, while I'm saying congratulations on Bark in the Park, that was excellent. We had a fun time. And Mr. Mayor, I do have to apologize because I missed your race on Saturday. I went over to the Antelope Valley College. The Association of University Women were hosting a forum, and they invited a representative from LEAP, Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, to give a lecture. And a little bit back, I had an ongoing feud in the paper with Mr. Lackey. They didn't really print everything that I wrote in one of my letters. One of them was a challenge, and I was really glad to see him pick it up with Stephen Downey, a retired deputy chief from the L.A. Police Department. And it was very fascinating. I have what I said there up on YouTube. You can find the rest of it, the entire presentation of Mr. Downing and Mr. Lackey. I'll get them up within a day, but it's insightful to listen to. Mr. Downing runs down the history of marijuana prohibition and other issues, and Mr. Lackey was unable to lay a stick on his argument, so when I got up to speak, I didn't want to pick on him. But it was funny. The one part about it that I wanted to tell you was, as I was sitting waiting, Mayor Jim Ledford walked in, and I asked him, I said, how come you're not at the race? And he said, what race? So I guess we're going to have to do a little better job of penetrating Lancaster with our advertising, because they don't seem to know we had a race.
Well, people need to read, be able to read.
But anyway, congratulations, and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. You know, I'm a little worried about that marijuana thing. It seems like they smoke too much of it, and then they run for office in cities they don't live in. It was a joke. It was funny. Sorry. Is it Pasita? Alarcon? Alarcon, I'm sorry. I remember you. Hi.
Is it okay if I give you a copy of the tax?
Come on. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, and to the City Councilman. From Bukladang Pagkakaisa Band of Unity, subject, exemption from bingo license and monthly financial report. Bukladang Pagkakaisa Band of Unity is a 501c3 organization that performs this outreach program to the community. Feeding Grace at Grace Resource Center since 1993 when it opened, a scholarship award to Antelope Valley College since 1991, monthly seniors hour on the fourth Saturdays at the Antelope Valley Senior Center since 1997. The latter activity is our concern with the recent regulation from City Hall that requires a licensing and monthly financial report. The average attendance to this activity is 70 guests. We provide free lunch, music, some dancing as they please, and quote-unquote bingo game. This is a moneyless bingo. No money is involved whatsoever. The cards are used per se to monitor and determine the winners of 6 prizes. It is merely an entertainment for seniors and excitement to winners who will have something to go home with. It is requested that our organization be allowed to continue this activity for our guests, exempt from the license required and submission of monthly financial statements. We do not like to snuff their expectations and deprive them of the enjoyment and fun of this monthly get-together. We will appreciate very much your favorable response to our outreach program on behalf of our guests. We cordially invite you also to attend this activity. Please come and join us. Thank you.
Thank you. have staff look into that, and then let's put it on the agenda and make a decision. Okay?
We will certainly do that. It sounds like it may already be a reasonable exemption.
Okay. We'll work on that, okay? Okay. Don Cordell?
Good evening to all of you. I'm concerned about our Constitution and our Bill of Rights and the apathy that we have amongst voters in America. I wish the apathy was because people were pleased with what was going on in our government. I'm afraid that because most of us believe that no matter who we elect, we still have people that run the city and county and state and our federal government as they please and not as the people want. We have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights. And while the Bill of Rights doesn't spell out the separation of church and state, the real leaders of America, the Internal Revenue Service, certainly points out that churches, you may not campaign in churches unless you're Obama or Hillary. And I've been watching for the last few years the little hint I got that you were going to let the two churches use our city public park as part of their playground in the daytime. I finally saw in the paper this last week that you've decided you're going to lease it to them from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That really is the biggest part of the day to keep the citizens out of the park. Anybody that wants to use that park after dark is dumb. It's not safe to be in any park in Lancaster, Los Angeles County, anywhere in California after dark. I believe that matter should be given as a vote for the people in Lancaster to decide. If we get a 2/3 vote, then I'd go along with it. If not, if you think you're going to have those children out there, I'm going to picket the playground every day with banners that are legal, but to inform the children what's happening in our city that's wrong with the Bill of Rights. You have the Community Redevelopment Agency. I assume that you used that to use eminent domain to take those homes off of that land that has sat empty for 15 years over here. You know, I haven't seen anything done on it. Not that we don't have other parks, but you know, the way that you took the way you plan to have Walmart over at L and 60th Street. It's nice. I wrote to Jerry Brown, our the Attorney General of California, be informed that if I had any qualms about this, I should contact the local sheriff's office. Well, you grease the sheriff's palms. They're not going to bother with you. I think that's enough said.
Some of us think more than enough. Barbara Maisel, I save you for last because...
Yeah, some days are better than others. My hearing aids, I'll lend you one.
It was terrible.
What did you do
it was terrible to lose your hearing aids. Yeah.
All of you. I came last time and spoke. I asked for information where I could get my son a job, and Chris almost fell through the floor. And Julia was totally granny, never again. But Chris got a job. Thank you. Thank you. So when the owner of where I live, Cedar Creek, came to check on the trees that were butchered by the landscape contractor that he had brought in from Nevada and had a license, it was on the truck, and also had a license for the state of California. And I noticed that most of them didn't speak English, but they butchered the trees, and I spoke to the owner of the property, one of the owners, and I said, I took the name, address, and so on, and I called up Lancaster for to notify them that they didn't have a license to work in the city of Lancaster, nor did they have the permit to work here. He said, well, they're contractors. I said, and he said, I used them when I have property over in Nevada. I said, this is California, this is Lancaster, and the laws are you have to have a permit to work in the city of Lancaster, or to work in the city of Palmdale, or to work in the county of Los Angeles. So I want you to know I did call and drop a dime on you, and they butchered your trees. And I said, and I want you to know, I'm calling ICE. So he said, if they're not permitted, that's the contractor's problem, and you should call the city, and so tell him. And he says, and I'll tell Navarro that you did it. I said, thank you, and I appreciate it. There are 4 pages of foreclosures in the Antelope Valley Press, which I no longer can afford because they upped the price. And so with this in mind, I told them, I'll give you the list of contractors for landscape, which I got from Elizabeth, because my son was looking for a job. And you can hire any one of them because they have a permit. I said, don't bring in somebody who's not permitted to work on your property, because I will drop a dime. So I wanted you to know I'm doing my little thing, and but I appreciate it. The city looks beautiful. I like the curfew. My granddaughter's miserable about it. My son is happy. I want to thank the sheriffs for giving him a ticket on his bike. Thank you. He'll be alive another day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara.
Any questions?
I do have a question with the city attorney. What is the deal? Can they come in from out of state and?
Well, contractors, if it in fact is a contractor, they're going to need to be a state licensed contractor.
And now let's assume they're a state license. Is there any city permits required?
You have to have a city business license to do business in the city, but there are no permits per se that would be required.
No kidding. You mean all these guys that come up from L.A. and are subcontractors need to get a license from us?
Get a business license, sure. They're doing business in the city.
Stay tuned. There's something here.
Are you talking about something that has a contract with us to do work?
No.
Or just any contractor? Okay.
Well, we could really utilize that to keep employment local a lot better than we are, couldn't we?
I mean, you can't keep anybody out.
Well, if they don't have a license, then don't they have to go home?
Well, most of them, the reputable ones, will get a license if they have a contract.
Right.
What about the outside real estate agents?
They are exempt
It's
by California state law.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it later. Let's work on it. It just might be a way to increase the employment. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're done with agency comments. Everybody's good? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to mention that there was an article in the paper that on the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission that we spoke about a scavenger ordinance, and it is already in the hands of staff and will be coming forward in November, as I understand it. We've been working on that for a while. I was very disappointed that I was sick and I missed the Grand Prix. I was very pleased to hear that there were 35,000 people here. And I haven't heard one complaint. All I've heard is compliments, and the staff did an outstanding job. Thank you again. You guys deserve all the credit for that. And there's something this morning that came to my attention that I just wanted to brag on the citizens of Lancaster for turning in a tip that at near Lancaster Boulevard and 23rd Street East, there was a gang has been disrupted by Lancaster cops, and there were drugs found. There were several dogs were taken from the location and turned into the animal care and control. And our deputies and teams worked continuously to just interrupt these gangs and send them along their way. And so I was very thankful to our deputies and to the citizen that turned that tip in. And the citizens are doing a great job. Please keep it up. Thanks.
Thank you. Did you hear they sabotaged my axle?
Which one of the 4 axles?
Okay. We will now recess to closed session. for the matters that are on the agenda, and it was a short meeting. Thank you. We'll reconvene as soon as the closed session is complete.
Yes. It's more than, actually, you have to specifically disclose it if it's more than $50.
While we were in executive session, Sherry got $1 for the cuss jar because somebody said an inappropriate word. Moving on, we will now reconvene the meeting. City Attorney, your announcement, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the City Council met in closed session under Government Code Section 54956.8 to give direction to the city manager concerning real property negotiations with Lancaster School District, Eastside School District, and Antelope Valley Fair District.
Thank you. We are adjourned until Tuesday, October 26th at 2010 at 5 p.m. Carol, my day is done. I'm coming home, and I know you're mad because I said the mayor of Palmdale can't read.